Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today I want to talk about some baits that stink. And I mean literally, they stink so bad. My tackle room right now is smelling of a lot of different scents, and it's a pretty funny thing because this tackle room's always one of those places that when you walk in, you know you're around a bunch of tackle because you get hit by so many different scents at the same time. It's like walking into a tackle shop. They've all got this very unique smell. And that's how the basement bait shop smells, which I tend to love. My wife does not love. But I want to talk about today some of what I consider the stinkiest baits on the market. I get asked frequently. I just got asked the other day what my thought is in regards to adding scents to my baits. We're seeing a lot of people liking the bait fuel, a lot of people using gulp, a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis onto the scent or the smell of a bait. And personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it does the best thing the scents do is it covers up human odor or unknown odor senses. So specifically, say you pump gas at the gas station and you get some diesel fuel or gasoline on your hands. Personally, I would much rather cover up the scent of that gasoline with a spray on scent or a scent that a bait already has. Can I sit here and say that the bass prefer garlic over coffee? I have no clue as to whether they do or they do not, but I do feel like I tend to have better luck with baits that have a good smell to them. So we're going to talk about some of my favorite stinkiest baits out there. And generally speaking, I'm not really talking about the bait, the actual design of the bait. I want to talk more about the scent of the bait and just kind of point out which ones are really stinky. They have a strong smell, a strong odor to them, if that's something that you guys are looking for, because the bait isn't really what's doing it. It's the smell that goes into it. And in most cases, it's the product the entire company offers, or at least a product line that comes with this scent to it. So let's start this right off the bat with what is potentially my favorite smelling bait line, and that is the Strike King coffee scent that they apply to a lot of their baits. This right here is one of my favorite Strike King baits that they make all across the line. This is just the 4-inch Rage Menace. I do like using this as a trailer in a lot of cases. But man, I really think it has to do with the coffee smell that they do, that they put into these. It's one of those things that for me, I love the smell of coffee, so I like using these. It's one of those things that first thing in the morning, when I smell it, it makes me feel good. It's one of those good smelling baits. In most of these cases, the stronger the smell, generally, I can't say I like the smell, but I actually do like the smell of the coffee scent that Strike King uses in a lot of their baits. So that's a good smelling one. Potentially the most uh, pungent smelling one that to me is like smelling salt. And I gotta say is an acquired taste, meaning I love the smell of it, but at the same time, it is one that will wake you up if you put your nose in the bag. And that's Berkeley's Power Bait, guys. This is a childhood memory for me, going back to when I first started fishing when I was, 6, 7, 8 years old. The power worm was the go-to bait for me at that time. And this smell has not changed at all. I tell you, it is one that makes you clears your sinuses out. And I tell you, I think it's a big reason as to why the power bait is such a popular line of soft plastics. There is something to that smell. I don't know. For me, it brings me back to my childhood. And at the same time, it's one of those things that I feel like just helps me catch fish. They use it in all the power bait series of baits. And it's one where I tell you what, when I walk down into the basement bait shop, if I left a bag of this open, when I walk down in the morning, my room smells like power bait. And I know I've got a bag open of Berkeley power bait somewhere. There's been multiple times where I go on a hunt for what bag I left open because the room is so pungent. Uh, but I love it. It's a smell like if you were to give somebody who doesn't fish, you were to have them smell that, it would probably make them want to gag. But I would tell you if you went to most anglers and said smell this right off the bat, they go power bait. And most people I think actually enjoy that smell. Uh, Here's another really strong one that to me is over the top. And guys, if you like the chompers baits, the garlic smell in these is so strong. I mean, over the top strong. This is one where I can't tell you the number of times I've been fishing with somebody else in the boat, and I know right off the bat that the person in the back of the boat is throwing like a chomper's tube or a chomper's twin tail skirted grub. It is the strongest garlic scent out there. It is just one that, I mean, people say it smells like pizza. To me, it's just straight garlic, like over the top, pungent, pungent, pungent. But there's a lot of people that swear by these. And the biggest thing that separates choppers baits from other baits is that smell. So it's something that uh, I think has some credibility to it. Do the fish like garlic? I don't know. I don't know why they chose to put garlic in that. I don't know if there's been testing that's been done, but I do know garlic is one of those scents that has popped up numerous times over the years by different bait makers, different scent makers. It's one of those things that just across the board is a popular scent. And I don't know if it's because it's just a very strong, pungent smell, or if it's just because there is some scientific evidence that shows bass like garlic. I don't know. Can't answer that. Another one that's really strong is what Norries uses, like on this flip dom, which is similar to the cover scat. I actually like this one better because it's more flat and wide, so it glides better in my opinion. And I have no idea what the actual scent is, other than it says scent and flavor formula on it. I can't even tell you. The back is mostly written in Japanese. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what it smells like, guys. It's kind of smells like a cross of like a slight coffee smell and like squid or fish. I don't know. It's not a good smell to me, but it's a product like Nori's across the line, like all their products I've had really good success with. Very small. I don't know if they're a small company. They're not well known in the United States, but they produce really good baits. So I feel like the scent has something to do with it. You guys can get some flip doms for yourself, have a good whiff of it, and you tell me what you think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that smell is, but it's one that hits me hard. The last one again is another one that I think if most people smelled it, they'd know right off the bat. If you like throwing something like the Big Easy or any of the other gambler baits, this is another very strong, pungent bait that smells a lot like garlic. It smells, I don't know offhand, it's got their special gambler bite formula, whatever goes into that. But this is another one where to me, I smell this and it feels like Florida. Like that's all I can say. It's a smell. You go into the tackle shops in Florida and this is what they smell like. Probably because they have thousands of bags of it in there, but it's a very noticeable smell. Like if you were to sit down and have a smell test with power bait, the Strike King Rage stuff, or the coffee scents, the gambler, the chompers, I have very little doubt that if you fish a lot of bass baits, a lot of soft plastics, you would be able to get everyone right because they're very distinct smells. But there's also something to be said for all of these brands have withstood the test of time. So part of me says there very much is something to do with the scents that people are using in these baits. Whether they're catching fish or they're catching humans, I can't really answer it. But I can tell you that there is a part of this is like a brand building, right? Like with the power bait, everyone knows what that smell is. With the Strike King baits that smell like coffee, whether that helps catch bass or not, I don't know, but there's a lot of us out there that actually enjoy the smell of coffee. So I'm sure there's people out there that use those baits specifically because they smell good. Maybe the same goes for the garlic. Maybe somebody's scared of vampires, so they want to make sure they keep them away and they use the chomper stuff. I don't know, but it's one of those things that the scent is a big player in soft plastics. Those are some of the stinkiest baits on the market. Guys, let me know in the comment section. What are some of the stinkiest baits that you've come across? Put it in the comment section so that we can have a whiff of them and tell for ourselves whether or not they truly are smellier than the power bait. Because the power bait to me is the stinkiest in a good way. I love that smell. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned, new video coming out tomorrow.